the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, Ochina, 8 p.m., he will be meeting the press. We intend see President Mahama say he's availing himself. Ghana media, strictly by invitation, will be amrambe to Tonano. When your friend the president, Nenyamumu, and I say, Jimmy. We and any pa odini paso. We and I say, Odi Bibi or the best you. It President Mahama say, and there or catch the Ghana for you now say, or no, on your chichidio. On your special needs president, on your toy president, or your president who knows his job, and that he is going to brief Ghanaians. Now, on your question, the Maubia, or say, in some trouble, Mumbrambe Busana no asem. Na mo jiminti in some trouble no. Minimum search na mo kono. President Jinabuni Kalamu ye Kevin Taylor because you people see me as the president. I beg you, my president is John Mahama. At this point, you know, some MPP for no, journalist for no. Any journalist for no more Ghana no say and direct mo na yan sharpen my how to ask questions sir. Mr. President Kevin Taylor, Mr. President Kevin Taylor, Mr. Into Ochinano. I am not the president. I am somebody. The president is Mr. President John Dramani Mahama. You are going to meet the president. Ye Jaguars ya for Ochina be Kevin Taylor nkwa. Oh, please sir, can I talk? And omo free Nicaragua so bobano. Omo beduru a ohwa mu nyina share tepe. Mr. President, good evening. Obedun kran wo hu epo, obekabrofo, obetitintem. Mr. President, you know our people in the Ashanti region. No ejina, no adwene ho kakra wa santim, ansa na wa convert. We like Ghana. And Mr. President, no ejina, no adwene ho kakra do da kwa santim no obu ni be ansa na obechichirim. We want to know, is it because or it is because no ejina kakra, no adwene ho kakra do da kwa santim no obu ni be do da ba ditim ansa na babrofo. Yem pese mo be sa ochina President Mahama. Ochina de behu bebre ai eche John Mahama si bia President Mahama tie no beka so amanfo feel free no mo nka kasa o mo pe enye sa na Mahama nkasa na be ye yendwudwom asamasi ai enti Mr. President Ochina, I beg you, tell them to feel free. You want to answer all the questions. In fact, any language they want to speak in, they can. At least if you have somebody to translate, some of them that you don't understand, they can translate to you for you to also respond. So, Mr. President, Ochina, I beg you, Senko for the bar, Nicaragua for bar, catch them say, Omudomo pa omun kakasa no mo peno. Omun to sebe, no mun jujum, na mo answer. Because over to barrier na say Messi, and it is not me who didn't do it. Oh, it is you. It is the blind blade. Into Mr. President, Ochina, mo feel comfortable. This is John Mahama. You are meeting an intelligent president who is on top of his game. And don't forget, Kwachofosu is there and Standogbetu is there. So if you go and misbehave, you know my two guys, they will take care of you. It is a own person once a month. Answer your question and go and sit down. Okoye, Mr. President, your shirt is nice. Baby, I look at Tinano. Kwame Dinkra, so a journalist, so a high life musician, so Tom Breko, or Bejina, so no MPP, MC. Now, no, sir, Buta. Mr. President, you know, yeah, that chair 17 year free Kumasia ba, so to you more, so a journalist, said the or your onwangasa or your himvie MC, or say a dear MC, who Juma Oye, Kwame Dinkra, or to Kumasina concern journalism. Concern a chair MPP ama, MPP MC, I and the Cassetian and Kwasaka, or Chinesimina Mumbra Chrome, Obiama Hapo. Oh, yeah. Ochina yeso bia mehwepo ebu asoche pepa moba mo bia nkoto apu mo de obekọ ye kasa kire mo amonte no ye kasa kire mo amonte no mo amobedu anadwi mo ntena dem ankran fufuo ni ho saa ankran fufuo ni ho saa enti mo amoba no mundidi na moba mabedi amu aguso na eduane ni nkran me ka che Nicaragua fo ochina anope mu amutu anadwi no mundidi o me ka se mundidi amote ase atadwe ebunobunu eye de otwe bini monhuru mfandi fufuo asara bodu krom because ochina no eduane ni nkran o monko na wo ho mo nkran ko atalia na wo ho nkran wudu a eye de indomie and spaghetti tea enti mundidi ansara mo aba me kasa kire mo so a mo be call abadi area ma mo nkotopu nim na de wo be ko Nicaragua for journalists na mene mo kasa no mo amode ntoma ntade ba no mo nto so anopa baby amu beda na dwi mu make sure say anopa no magi iron atoso minu say dodo ro be shan tomato ade yeah and tomato ade the shoe on say your shoe and your shoe and tomato ade the shoe na mbese that shoe na lines bi da so no mo amu she half shoe no ma yenim say mo ba mbese tomato ade the belt mo amu den tomato ade ba no mo make sure say ochina matu anopa mo bankran ahankran international airport ahade tu free akọ Germany ye tu free akọ London and ye tu free aba UK and US enti baby ama wa na Ghana na mo ba no enti mo bedura Mahama ho no wo yeja mo so amoya ma na mo ba no yesre mo montomata ade so dress no monto so na mo bankran aya monto spray ai Nicaragua for obedwa ochina de mewu Mr. President, Kevin Taylor, or Kevin Taylor. But I want to tell you people something. Yasremo, Fufu di Kumas in Cryo, and I make a Kwame Tanko. Niti, I see at National 55 George. Kwame Tanko, I see at National 55. Fufu nin crying. May catch them. Into the Medina agree, Mundisa, na. Thursday, I must do. Mo move Kumasi Abankran ababeshia president no sana dwi mudi fufuo enda na dwi a that means Wednesday fufuo ni nkran Thursday enyumbre na benya fufuo di inti mon cycle mo adwene membe munamuna onim won kran na stand up the time ofosu kwachi the time inti ya bana se ma refreshment kakane mo bia slice of bread and some small drink bia no me sagu yem membe miemia onim ta de enie we di asenya de 2 days wonni fufuo inti mon cycle mo Alaji for more ones and so Alaji. Thank you, Alaji. Into moment to us into Ochina. President John Dramani Mahama to face the media on Wednesday, 10th September 2025. Nana Dankwe Kufuor be the president 2019 pe Oshia media. Oshia Monoso your questions about Kwame Dinkramo. And Kwame Dinkramo, Mr. President, your shirt is nice. Oh. Hey, Mr. President. Na ononko nitia is no enteno Jimmy san on the koye omo musa question bia. Where the President Mahama so bia for the question free film. But Ochina no ya per se say nyoma bebre o ho am questions. And I know 90% of Ghanaian journalists they watch me. Ochina nyoma bebre o ho am questions sir. We want to guide you people. Tomorrow when you get the opportunity to ask the president questions in Ebinye, you can ask from lean government. Mumbuta President Mahama said, "Okay, lean government as we speak. Has he reduced the ministers from 30 to 23? Cabinet ministerial appointments at 60. John Mahama will reduce ministers or better and the Kufuor in Tochina. Mubetu butan question me so afa what we call lean government. Ebona or share, how is he dealing with it? How is it going? Is he being efficient? The ministers so far, no, the smaller number, no, is he really helping? Has he cut budget? These are questions you need to ask the president to test him for him to give you answers. You people can also ask questions on ban on first class travel. The president actually put a ban out there. Say, luxury travels for government officials, Mumbusa president say, how is it going? Has anybody flaunted the law? And then these are the questions, the line of questions you need to be asking the president. Send a president, able to mamu answers because he's prepared for you. He's open. He's a president who is smart. He's a president who is sociable. He's a president who will not make you uncomfortable. And to feel free and let your questions may guide them to Nicaragua for now mobano. Baby, it is an asset declaration enforcement. Mandated public asset declaration by all appointees. Omoba and Omoka say, mandated say Obia a declared asset. Government officials, any appointees of John Mahama. Mumbusa President, Mr. President, how far appointees Obia declared assets. And these are questions, sir. And also Mumbusa questions. When in a beb to Mama President, I'm answers. And Mr. President, your shirt is nice. Mr. President Kevin Taylor, Menya President, Mukwa President no China, Nicaragua for journalists for so amotin kram yem kurase for mumfa lessons in free ha. Code of conduct for appointees. Mumusa, Mr. President, you spoke about code of conduct. We want to know. We want to know, say, the code of conduct, how is it going? Your appointees, are they comporting themselves? If you also have some reservations, you can ask the questions on that and say, Mr. President, this is what we have noticed. What is your take on it? Into questions around code of conduct, and also, adebia mobile to me, ebusa questions. I am helping you. Mumudu do Jimmy, many questions answer ebisa. Anything I may buamo because Kevin Taylor and Kevin Taylor and menya president. Now, BB is a Constitution Review Committee. So, move to me, ebusa questions. How he established to assess and propose updates to the 1992 Constitution. Mr. President, by NDC by an Constitutional Review Committee. Saying, Mr. President, have they presented the report? How is it going? The committee members. These are questions the president wants you to ask. Now, Ghana for answer because President, he has a lot to do what to speak on. Issues about governance advisory council, and also you can ask the president. You propose to improve political accountability and human rights. Right now, maybe there are some things going on. You feel say people's human rights have been trampled upon. Ask the president. The president will have to answer you. May guide them or may mama classes answer mako akra. Uko do na uko Jimmy watch nani abetra hani do atema. Me kaza Kevin Taylor o didi atem. Me din kai ama guidance. Me din kai a lecture mo how you do journalism. Well, ask your questions around these things. Now, when it comes to something like anti-corruption and legal accountability, Operation Recover All Loot, your friend oral, you have to ask questions. It was launched to prosecute corruption cases and recover stolen assets. You can ask the president questions around oral. Why haven't people been prosecuted? Mr. President, this is what you said. You have been in government for the past 9 months. What is happening? Why is the Attorney General not prosecuting? We have seen a couple of people arrested. These are questions that President is expecting you people to ask. And he's willing to answer you and to ask questions around oral. It's not about Kevin Taylor, Mr. President Kevin Taylor, Mr. President Kevin Taylor. I am not a president. Mr. President is tomorrow. You are meeting Mr. President. So I am guiding you how to ask your questions. These are things that are very vital. And because Obama fata diamba and crying boutique no interne boarding into fantomata diabra. You can also ask questions about investigations into abandoned projects. Targeted misuse of funds in projects like the SkyTrain and National Cathedral. Mr. President, Mr. President, what has happened to the SkyTrain, the National Cathedral, the project? What is happening? The investigations into it. How far are we? Has the Attorney General briefed you? Where are we now? These are questions you need to be asking. Ebin Ghana, the men are made journalists or Ghana because we do Jimmy questions. These are things you need to be asking your questions around and push the president. In the president never answer. Now opportunity, you ask a follow-up question. A follow-up question and say, for clarity. You want the president to make emphasis on a particular statement. I want to ask here. That is what we call follow-up question. You need to basically try and get the answer you want. Mamu ko jina Jimmy Kobusa unnecessary question. Mr. President, ya tesa abronya ya Jimmy nebi ya nyesa ade nebi wo ho. Now, Mr. President, Kevin Taylor, I am giving you a poor answer. What's it? Where journalism was in America, Wahano, Asiafo. Now, there's something about election death inquiry. Initiated formal investigations into fatalities from 2020 to 2024 elections. Mr. President, a committee to look into election killings 2020 and 2024. Mumusa, Mr. President, what has happened to it? Have they presented a report to you? What is your next move? Are they going to prosecute? How is it going to be done? Mr. President, we have seen a lot of people get away with all these kind of things. What is different from today? What are you going to do differently? These are the kind of questions you need to be asking the president. We need to push the president. It is not Kevin Taylor. It is all about asking relevant questions. Now, upon ebinye and ambede mamono, now we will be Jimmy. Mamu kobusa fufu machine. Mr. President, we have come to Accra. We want to know how much is fufu machine. Mon famu kwasi am free. Baby am free ni mambe busa fufu machine. Mon pa mon ko Chinese small. E wono ton kwasi anyoma wo ho. Ye be di o masema mo musisi. When it comes to economy, recovery and fiscal policy, people mo pese mo busa question for economy no ho no. And also no me mamo guidance kakra send ya busa mo questions no. Abolition of e-levy, betting tax and fuel emission levy. Mr. President, you actually promised that you were going to abolish e-levy, betting tax and fuel emission. How has it basically helped with the economy? Has it actually brought some confidence into the system. The young people who are basically yearning for the abolition of the betting tax, how do you think this has affected them? Has it affected positively? Mr. President, we are also asking, have you added more taxes? Or basically, you have burdened Ghanaians with more taxes? Let the president answer you. Now, you can also ask from where the inflation was, where the dollar rate was, compare it to today, and compare it to our GDP. These are things you need to be asking. So, more questions, economic recovery and fiscal policy. These are some of the questions. National economic dialogue. Okay, I say national economic dialogue. You better convene experts and stakeholders to guide budget reform and fiscal strategy. Do we have something like that? Mr. President, you spoke about that. How has that impacted the economy? If we have this national economic dialogue, if we had it, has it impacted? Has it had any positive impact in our economy? What are the dots and the I's and whatever in there? Can you explain a little bit further? How has it impacted us? These are questions you need to be lingering around. Economy, questions, These are some of the things. You can also ask something about tripartite wage committee formed to negotiate minimum wage and base pay for public sector workers. Mr. President, a committee na how minimum wage Ghana ejumafo baby minimum wage. You can ask the president, Mr. President, what has happened to that? Have they discussed it? Have they moved forward? Are workers salary going to be increased? What percentage? Have you met the trade union congress? Have you met the minister? What is going on? We want to know. We want to go and educate Ghanaians. Sign your way. Mr. President, you are looking nice. Mr. President, we saw you when you came to Otufor to greet Otufor. You were looking. Then, issue about debt management reform. Propose standardized borrowing limits to prevent future debt crisis. Mr. President, have we borrowed since you came to office? We want to know. You've been in power for 8 months. How much have we borrowed as a nation? Let the president give you straight answer. Have we borrowed? How much debt did you come to meet? And how much have you added to our debt? At this point, how are we doing on the international market? These are questions you need to ask the president. This is a smart man. This is an intelligent man. This is a man who is abreast of the issues. So don't go there with your KG idea and mentality. This man is intelligent. You cannot go and stand before this man and fool yourself. He will make people laugh at you because the answers he will give you, it will make you look stupid. The man is smart. You need to be smart to face him. Wait on your Kufuado, wait on your toy president too. Where are you sharp? Or you are smart? Where are your politics at check? Where onim the jumano? Every minister he knows. So you cannot go there and fool yourself and say, Mr. President, you know something? We say speculation. He does not deal with speculations. You will see say every single thing he will say will be factual. If he doesn't have the facts, he will tell you. He will go and check and get back to you. This is not a speculative president. On your toy. On your president be a jimi de be a chiro bi kasana no. And your president otumi kasana kojon pon krumasa be kire brofuma kire. When Mahama speaks, it is clear. You can understand. Into more amoko no Jimmy for no munjai because onye ready to entertain foolishness. Into some of you journalists, I am helping you. Now, these are some of the places you can ask your questions. Education and youth development. Free SHS review directive ordered Charles to publicly highlight implementation challenges. Mumbusa, Mr. President, how far with the free SHS? Has it improved? You as Ghanaian, have you heard to say free SHS, there are shortfalls? Let the president know. He ordered teachers, to come up with what we call highlighting how they can implement the changes, and our challenges, Right now, you ask the president, have they been able to do something about it? Their sleeping, their food, their accommodation. How is it going? These are questions you need to be asking the president for the president to give you clear-cut answers. You can also ask questions around UG residential fee reduction. Lowered fees from 3,000 to 2,500 to ease student burden. Questions about University of Ghana. Time our president Bayoka say the amount of money they are paying for what we call accommodation on campus, or so from 3,000 to 2,500. Has it eased? Is the president and the government, do they have other plans to make sure this program, another reduction program, is going to go on for a long time? And what do we expect, or what should we expect? These are questions, sir. Also, President Mahama. Mama from Kwasi Bebusa say, I am Mr. President, and the Black Star and Otuado, we don't have time. Now, you can also ask about Education Reform Committee. Formed to plan systematic improvement and stakeholders engagement. Mumbusa, the president, about Education Reform Committee. How Omo committee, on board. Have they been able to change anything? The president is abreast of the issues. He will tell you because he has cabinet meetings. He speaks to the ministers. He is briefed every morning. So he should be able to give you answers on all these things. This is how it's supposed to be done. Now, some of the places I'm going to be question for environment and natural resources. Mr. President, what do you think about candidate Japan and Baumia contesting? Mr. President, on your MP chairman, Mr. President, so Dr. Baumia, we saw you recently, you were working with him. How did it feel like? Mr. President, today we have seen that the NPP are gearing up for 2028. Are you going to contest again? We didn't come a statement on that. He's not going to repeat himself. Mr. President, are you sure that you don't want to? In that stand up only time. Sa questions in your answer we when we say answer sama stand up ni eye ofosu kwache me mp omapamo wajimi omapamo. You can ask questions around environment and natural resources. These are some of the questions. When it comes to Ghana Gold Board, you can ask questions about Gold Board, operationalized as the sole legal buyer exporter of small scale gold, generated 5 billion in revenue. And the Menoka say Gold Board are making revenue of about 6.1 billion in less than 9 months. So you can also ask questions around Gold Board. The Gold Board guys, are they making revenue? How is it being done? Right now, smuggling, has it gone down? What are the statistics? Has he been briefed? Has the Gold Board CEO spoken to him? The numbers they are making, how is it going to benefit this nation? How are we going to get money from it to help the cocoa board, to help cocoa farmers, to help some sectors? These are some of the questions you need to be asking. Into questions around Gold Board. They have shown, and the revenue Gold Board is bringing in. It's simple. You can also ask about ban on mining in forest and water. The Attorney General is working on banning mining in every forest in Ghana. You can ask the President, Mr. President, we've heard this. Is it true? Is it going to happen? At Cabinet, have you discussed it? Are we going to stop mining in our forest reserves? Mr. President, when it comes to illegal mining, what is this government doing to stop it? We have seen the military, the anti-galamsey police force having confrontation with some villages and people. How are you managing this? What is the minister doing? The interior minister, the Ghana Police Service, the military. Have you coordinated them? Ask the president the questions. The president needs to brief you. He's ready and willing. He's ready. Mr. President, did you hear that Apalu has been arrested? Apalu Kwasia, the party for way. Apalu Kwasia paying Yachina ever President Mahama Hobey. Mr. President, we have heard that Apalu has been arrested. Apalu only party for. I don't know the party for demonstration. Munjan Kwasia questions Nibusa. Mr. President, do you hear that right now they said that you have invited to Asante Hema's funeral? We never ever. Mr. President, have you heard that the Domahine and Otumfo 82 they are speaking and tribal politics? Otumfo and Domahine, one about a young blow. Otumfo appointed Domahine appointed Otumfo. Obia to the chrome, Bibia Koso. Mumbusa questions and answer womb. Mr. President, we have heard that, and you see, and last but Obusa minister, you know the kind of language, with all due respect, I don't want to get into Otumfo Domahine issue because from where I sit, Otumfo Domahine Obian Kontoka. Obian di Obiatem. So Domahine buso Otumfo question, and now Otumfo busa Domahine question. It is not disrespect. And my tribe will be and the tribe will be. So where is the fight from? Where is the Obiaje Kenten and Adomahine no 2-4 Kuntokwa? I see them as grown men who are leaders, and when they meet, they will talk. What is the big deal? Otumfo Adomahine Kuntokwa. So Adomahine buso 2-4 question, and now Otumfo busa Adomahine questioner. It is not in Tokwa. What is Mimi Wuntokwa biawaha? We all have the right to be asking each other questions. I can choose not to answer your question. You can choose to answer my question. That's how it works. What is the Ntokwa here? Mr. President, have you heard of Mahine? As far as the president knows, Otumfo Domahine Kontokwa. They have not met anywhere for anybody to punch anybody in the face, and they have not exchanged any kind of insult. That conversation is in the trash bin. Domahine no Otumfo bia bu no ho Ntokwa bia nsi Ghana. Munja san kwasia questions no, kwasia 4. Na mumusa questions I Ghana. Yedi beko enim na Otumfo ne Domahine obi an Kontokwa. To people questions. Now you can ask about anti-galamsey task force. Anti-Galam say task force, and also you can ask them, Mr. President, task force, how are they working? Right now, we have seen the military and the police coming together. A task force has been put together by the Gold Board. How are they working? Have they been able to arrest? Are people being prosecuted? What is the Attorney General doing? How many people have been prosecuted? What are they doing? These are questions the president wants to brief Ghanaians. Intimamu fe nyagro, we journalism was in a minimum. Now, social welfare and inclusion. Ube to me questions so after this area. What is it about? Hajj fare reduction. NDC ba bemuno and I'm say Hajj fare. So Matisse next year so Matisse new Hajj board and I say director of Hajj village or whatever. You people can ask questions. Say, Mr. President, we just heard that a man has been appointed, a very decent man has been appointed to lead the Hajj committee or Hajj team. What does he bring on board? Is he going to change anything? Has he briefed you? What should we expect next year when it comes to Muslims traveling to Mecca and all that? Ask relevant questions. One person puts questions for a Hajj fair, no? Because this last year, so Mr. President, and basically the condition, how are they going to improve on it? Journalists, question now, political questions, into Mr. President, next year, when our mothers and fathers are going to Mecca, can you promise us that the glitches we had last year, we are not going to experience it? Is the price going to go down? Their welfare, the Hajj village, when is it going to be done? We believe in it. These are questions that President answers. Cantonment to fire relief, Mr. President, what kind this about power? Have they helped them to reorganize themselves and start working again? And also a question about food distribution to free SHS. Mr. President, mobile releases so much food and release so much money into free SHS. We want to know food distribution, how is it going? Are the food going out now better? As journalists, have you checked? Are the kids complaining about the food? You people can ask the president, how were they able to do that? How the food are being distributed around the nation, how they inside buffer stock, who is in charge of buffer stock, how have they been able to manage the distribution of the food? The school is about to open in October. Is buffer stock ready? Are they ready to supply? Are the schools also ready? Is there a new strategy that food supply is going to have? These are questions, and the president should be able to be giving you answers. National Day of Prayer, Mr. President, you initiated this. You are back again with it. How is it going? Are we to expect this till the end of your term, maybe in 20 years or in 16 years or in 8 years or in 4 years? You can ask the president. These are very important questions you need to be asking. Inti, Mahama guidance, what is going to happen tomorrow and how your questions should be. Mama kwasiebia free Nicaragua ma. Mr. President, Accra is hard. Mr. President, when we came to Accra, we have seen that life is hard. Life is hard. Anka life is hard and Mr. President, right now, the dollar, where it is going, we cannot understand. The dollar was at 17. Today it is at 12. What has happened to the dollar? Mr. President, we have heard that PURC, they want to increase tariffs, water and all that. What is happening, Mr. President? He will take his time and explain to you why NETCO wants to increase electricity tariff in the north. Why ECG is saying that there should be some increment. Mr. President has been briefed. He will take you all the way back and show you the decisions we took and the NPP that were not right, that has brought us here. Until he's showing you, and he will show you how we can get out of this mess. So ask the president these questions. These are practical questions. The president should be able to give you answers. Mr. President, do you remember the last time Nasi's music? It was very nice. Is Nasi going to compose another song? Where Jimmy? Nasi waka said 2 days we time. Monko busa questions papa na munja Jimmy no. President we najumwe bio onya toy to say Kufuadu. President we woman 10 hours obetuma answer questions nyina. Mokwaso amonya short. Mr. President, I am from Edian FM. And Mr. President, with us there, we are people who like tradition. Mr. President, Sankwasi Assembly Bino, Oje Mike na, I mean, how it is done. When you go all over the world, Oba a White House, Oko the UK, Oko Bebia, what President chance Biase Kasana, when you take the mic, all that you have to do is say, thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kevin Taylor. I am from ABC or Loud Silence Media. My question is got to do with national security. My question is got to do with this. I have a question on the economy. I have a question on the helicopter crash, the investigations. I have a question on this. And then when you say that, you go ahead straight up and ask your question. And when you're asking the question, be precise. Mr. President, what has come out of the investigations after the helicopter crash? You leave the mic, you go and sit down. Hey, Mr. President, it's left with one. It's left with one. Mr. President, wait. Say Jimmy Sam, they been hobby. You can't be able to one, or be able to one. You can't be able to two, or be able to two. Mr. President, I am from Mr. President. Wait, Mr. Sankwa said, you are not going to filibuster there. You have to be straightforward. When you take the mind, good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Kwame Amwako. I am from Radio DNDN. I'm here today to ask 2 questions. My first question is going to be about the economy. My second question is going to be about sports. I'll start with the sports. About the Black Stars. Mr. President, this. You move from there. Mr. President, about the energy. This. You walk. Leave the mic. And those people asking questions, don't touch the mic. When they give you a mic to hold, it's different. When they give you a mic, you hold the mic and you ask your question. When you have a standing mic, don't touch the mic. It will make it make kukruk. Standogbe will read all these things to you. He will tell you. Before the whole president comes, Standogbe will read everything and tell you what to do and what not to do. If you do something against the code of conduct, they will kick you out. They will take you outside all the way to the traffic light.